You're now listening to Hispanics Causing Panic, baby. Let's do this.
Right now, Hispanics are causing black. But right now, Hispanics are causing black. Yeah, Hispanics are causing panic.
With his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, wearing black with white, also weighing in at 167.6 pounds. In his professional career, 54 victories, including 36 big wins by knockout, only one defeat with 2 draws, and he's undefeated for 6 years, and considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world. He's the former 2-time light middleweight world champion, former middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, representando al gran campeón, Saúl Canelo.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think we're
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
Thanks a lot. Join me live. Those of you joining me on the archive, D-Style Boxing. Here, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell button, and where you're notified every time D-Style Boxing comes on live. If you do have the bell button on, and for whatever reason you're not getting notifications, what you want to do is you want to hit the bell button, all right, and then select the none on the bell, and then go back to the bell button, and then select the all again. That way, it could, I guess, refresh your notifications whenever I go live or something like that, right? So I don't know what else to tell you guys. That's the way it is. And there's a bunch of people telling me, look, I've been subscribed to you for years. I have the notifications on. YouTube does not notify me when you go live. I don't know what that's about, but this is where we all have to kind of start, I guess, working around like guerrilla warfare. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're at war with HCP, and we got to do what we got to do with this guerrilla warfare. We got to use guerrilla tactics. You know what I mean? It's what we got to do. So that is one loophole that I know could work. Unselect and reselect the all. If you're watching around, go ahead and do that right now. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't get them all the time, and make sure it's on all and not on maybe not on on personalized something like that. Make sure it's on all, that way you're always notified. Shout out to JC Anthony Sanchez, Drunk Irishman. I appreciate you guys tuning in and all that good stuff. Nothing really crazy, like you know what I mean. Like there's nothing really like out there like that. But there's just a lot of fights. We want to kind of go over the fights, and that is that. So, look, yesterday I did a video giving my predictions. Hey, shout out to El Chilo. I haven't seen you in a while, brother. I hope everything is good on your end. Like, you know, I see you on Instagram once in a while. Blessings to you. All right. And if anybody ever starts problems with me, I'm gonna send A-Rod to you. Okay, you're gonna have to answer to A-Rod. All right. It's gonna be ¿qué pasó? ¿Por qué están hablando el D-style? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, real talk combat. How's it going? So let's start off with the following. Now look. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot to touch on, so I don't want to like keep. I just want to kind of talk about, like, is this the Riyadh season weekend where the coast is clear for parlays, right? Because Riyadh season card, like, for a while before Riyadh season, I was doing really good with parlays. I was kind of like, okay, I could kind of maneuver this and pick and choose which fights, and I, you know, boxing was a little predictable for a while, if I'm honest, right? And once in a while, the boxing gods will bless you with some good odds. And a fight, I don't know about that one. I think I got you here. Added to parlays, and I was doing good. These style was doing his thing. You know what I mean? But then, like, for some reason, Riyadh season came around. It became a killer for parlays, right? Now, if you're the type that likes to bet underdogs, stuff like that, Riyadh season has been magic if you pick the right underdogs. And there's some weekends where, even if you got a couple of them wrong, but you picked the underdogs and separate bets, you did very well, you know, because there's been a bunch of upsets. You know, it appears there's at least one big upset every single Riyadh season card. And I think what people are saying is true, right? I've heard people say this, and I'm not one of those types that says something and acts like he's the one that made it up or whatever, but that's what a lot of the quote unquote dudes that come on and think they're experts do. You know what I mean? But I've heard people say the following, and I agree 100%. I said this yesterday on the video. These fights are just tougher fights, right? Because the Saudis are paying premium money. Even the ones that we don't think that much of, they're still tougher fights than the usual that these guys would take, right? Increasing the chances of an upset happening. And they're taking it because the Saudis are paying premium money, right? They're fighting tougher fights because they're getting paid the money to do it. Therefore, the chances and the odds of an upset happening, right? And many of them are stacked cards, right? And there's more visibility on the undercards as well, which makes it all stand out even the more. So that's just the way I feel about it. So, a couple of things. All right. I did see Bacoda's going to be fighting F.A. Jabba. Before I even forget about that, I just want to give my thoughts about that. I'm going to go, and this is a gut feeling, I'm going to go with F.A. Jabba. I think he's going to win this fight, and I think he wins by decision. I think he wins a decision. There's probably a rocky moment or two early in the fight, but I think he wins the fight by decision. All right? So I'm going to roll with F.A. Jabba, just FYI. There you go. I know I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm going to go with Jaime Munguia to not only win, but easily win and dominate this fight, okay, in his rematch. Look, I don't know, man. Like, that first fight, like, and I hate, it's a pet peeve of mine to even say this, but I'm saying it because I just believe it to be true in this case. It was a fluke. Like, that was literally a fluke. That's a fight where Bruno Surase, 99 of 100 times in that same scenario, does not land that punch, ends up getting stopped. And there's some people that may even make the argument, look, Munguia did get up. And I honestly believe that the ref would have let it continue. Maybe Munguia goes down one more time or something, but I think he gets out of that round, and I think he ends up winning that fight. That's just how I feel about it. But even if he would have caught him and knocked him out cold, like I just honestly believe it just hit Munguia in a sweet spot. I don't think it was intended to do that, but it happened. And I just think he's going to come out and he's going to absolutely annihilate, Bruno here. And I do think it's going to take a little longer than it should, just because Munguia's going to be that little extra cautious. It's just how I feel, right? I think Munguia's going to be boxing a little more in this fight, using his jab, working behind the jab, keeping a tight guard. And I honestly think Munguia's going to be a little too conservative at the start of this fight, but understandably so because of what happened. But I just think as the fight goes on, I think Munguia's going to win every round. I think it's going to be clear. I think while Bruno gets, there's going to be a point in that fight, mark my words, we're all like, at least I believe so. I think there's going to be a point in that fight where we're going to be like, come on, Munguia, just take him out already. Like, he's done. But Munguia's going to be just that little extra careful because of what happened in the first fight, which is understandable, but I think eventually he does take him out. Eventually the ref will step in, stop it, and put Bruno out of his misery. Nowhere near the level of Jaime Munguia. You tell me if you agree. Do you believe Bruno is going to prove this was not a fluke and knock out Munguia once again? You tell me. I don't think it's going to happen. And I don't think there's ever been a case of somebody winning by stoppage and the whole world being like, yeah, that was not going to win the rematch. Like, it's Munguia is like a 900 or 1,000 to 1 like odds favorite here. Not 1,000. What am I talking about? A plus 1,000, which is like 10 to 1 odds. But anyway, but he probably is 101 odds. But with that said, I think Munguia is going to come out. He's going to outbox him. He's going to win every round. It's going to become more and more one-sided as the fight progresses. And we're all going to be pretty frustrated because Munguia could take him out whenever he wants. He's not going to really go for it because he's going to be a little too cautious. That's my prediction. All right? You guys tell me what you think. Okay? Nando Llamas I'm going to play this for Nando just because. All right? Pa que no diga el vato. All right? We're just going to play it for him just because. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is.
I'm a hard-working man.
There we go. All right. He said the other day, like he's trying to outwork the rest of us. Like, he's like, I have to pour concrete tomorrow. Like, I don't know what you guys got to do, but I'm pouring concrete. And like, that's what I'm doing. All right. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm a hard work, bro. I'll work hard, bro. Yeah, I'm not doing anything crazy. Just pouring concrete. That's about it. Piece of cake. Bruise your weight. I like that. Bacoli versus Ajaba. Look, I think that's going to be a great fight. I got Ajaba winning a decision. All right. We'll see how it goes. I'm glad Bacoli's getting another opportunity. That's great. All right, let's talk about the title here. Just some final thoughts here. So, I believe that this is a parlay weekend. That's what I think. Right? I think this is parlay time. And I don't think this is the upset special weekend. I don't. Which is, it is what it is. But I think if you go with Ryan, he's gonna beat Raleigh. So if you go with Ryan, you go with Teofimo, which is the toughest of all the fights. You go with Devin Haney, who's fighting the Paletero. And if you go with Canelo and you want to add Jaime Munguia to it, to me, that is a parlay. And I just think it's that weekend for that, personally, right? This whole weekend reeks of preparing for future fights, bigger fights, right? It seems like this is, for Canelo to regain the IBF strap to set up an undisputed fight with Crawford down the line in September. Las Vegas, right? It seems like Ryan and Haney being on the same card to put them in a collision course for a rematch later in the year. We already have Oscar beefing with Devin, with the Haney Sr. And I think they're setting all that up. And they also have Tio on the card as a possible future opponent for other fighters on Riyadh season, or maybe even a Ryan or a Devin down the line. So that's what it seems like to me. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to go according to plan, because the Riyadh season streak of upsets happening may very well continue, but I don't think it's that time. You know what I mean? And Real Combat just said, like, every time the Saudis try to set someone, it fucks it up. I get that, but I just think this is the time where it all goes according to plan. Right? Ryan Nando's leaving work early today. There you go. So, Conor Benn was at the weigh-in. Okay. The setup looks cool, by the way. I saw the setup. We'll see how that plays out, but I saw a setup. I liked it. It's going to happen. So this is the weekend. Real Talk About Combat. This is the weekend of the parlay. Now, here's the thing when it comes to the parlay. It's up to you if you want to add by knockout or by whatever it is. It increases the odds and the amount you can make skyrockets, but all of them, I would have them just by win, except the Ryan fight. I'm pretty confident Ryan's going to win by stoppage. Ryan will stop Rolly Romero. There's no doubt in my mind at all. But if you don't want to risk it at all, because you're already taking a lot of risk with the parlay, they'll just put Ryan by to win. That's it. But it is what it is. We'll see how that one goes. All right. All my thoughts, predictions on yesterday's show, by the way. Right? This is parlay weekend. If you want to bet the individual fights on an upset, you're going to lose your money. I'm going to tell you right now. Skull's not going to be Canelo. Raleigh's not going to be Ryan. Ramirez is not going to beat Haney. Right? The only fight that I could see somebody saying, yeah, I could see an upset is Barboza versus Teofimo, because speaking of curses, speaking of patterns, right? Every time Teofimo Lopez is like everyone's picking him to win. He should win this one. He ends up struggling or laying an egg. And can Teofimo Lopez put it together and have that spectacular performance as a favorite? That's what we've been waiting on, right? He has an amazing performance against Lomachenko, right? Big upset. Very few people picked him to win, right? On ATP, a lot of us picked him to win, but that aside, he comes like all that momentum, and then he lays an egg and he loses to Kambosas. And then he comes back and he's winning fights, but he's just not looking spectacular. And everyone's kind of like thinking he has that moment that, do I still got it? And then he goes out there and he just completely outclasses Josh Taylor as an underdog again. Can he have that performance as the favorite? We will see. We will see. You guys are tuned into HCP. You know me. hit the like button. As I was stating at the very start of the show, if you did not get a notification, hit the bell button, and if it's enabled, disable it, and then hit it again and enable it, right? So kind of do a reset on it. That should fix the problem with not getting notifications, right? That's number one. Second, share the video on your social media platform. But I only have 3 followers. No one's gonna. Only my girlfriend, my best friend from high school, and my brother follow me on Twitter. Like nobody else follows me. Well, maybe one of them will tune in. Just go ahead and share it. Like, what's the big deal? It takes 3 seconds. It's boom, boom, boom. Here I am. They're doing a live show for y'all before I gotta go to work, right? And you got to ask yourself, am I like, and I'm not willing to just share this really quick for D-Style. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody into it, but I kind of am. But I'm just saying. El Chilo's going with Jose Ramirez. The problem with Jose Ramirez is too slow. He's too slow for Devin Haney. He's going to be swinging and missing all night. He might be able to put some punches and bunches and land some stuff on Haney, maybe give him some fits in portions of the fight, but I just think at some point it's gonna, like, Haney's gonna take over and Jose hasn't been the same in a year, so I just think Haney's gonna outclass him, but we will see about that. I know Shane Mosley came out and was like, oh yeah, I taught Haney how to hit with power. He knows how to knock guys out. Now, okay. For how many years have we been hearing that Devin Haney is learning how to hit with power now? He's going to start knocking guys out. Like, yeah, all right. For how many years have we been hearing that Haney was stopping dudes and training and sparring and all these spectacular stories and shit? You know what I mean? For how many years? This is crazy, bro. Now, let's move on. All right? Those fights are tonight. Let's enjoy them tonight. Should Inoue move up to 126 pounds? Right? Should Inoue move up to 126 pounds? Is it time? I saw the news. He's gonna he has a fight against Cardenas tomorrow, but they already setting up the fight for MJ. That's how you know they're not sweating Cardenas. But that's gonna be at the T-Mobile. I'm sure he's gonna annihilate dude. Oh, by the way, add Inoue to your parlay. I would add Inoue to the parlay. Why not? I forgot to mention him, by the way. Throw him in there. He's not gonna lose. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm going to bet the upset. I'm going to bet the upset, D-Style. I'm going to bet on Inoue to win or to lose. Viva la raza. I think Cardena's going to do it, bro. Do whatever you want to do. All right? I got a better idea. If you're going to do that, with your money, bet against Inoue because you think you're going to hit the lottery with those odds, get your cash and flush it out to it. I mean, that's what you're doing. But anyway, so China's talking about doing a post-fight hangout, and I would share it, but since they don't share my shit, I don't know if I should share their shit. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But if they share my stuff, like on Twitter, like maybe I'll when they go live, I'll share it like on my channel, and I'll share my stuff. You know what I mean? It's a scratch my back, scratch your back type of world, but it's all good. All right. But I am imitating myself 100%. But here's the thing. This is HCP. You know what I mean? We gotta do what we gotta do. The hangout's only for the real ones. Oh, okay. That's why I wasn't invited. You know what I mean? Only the real ones show up. Right? But anyway, it wouldn't be Raza talking. We're not talking about Raza not supporting Raza. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But like, what are we gonna do? Well, that's it. I mean, you would think I was Latinos were Trump the way I get treated. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's move on. But in all seriousness, Nia Inoue is gonna annihilate MJ. Oh, what do you mean, D-Style? It's Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev wears military gear. You know, when he walks out to the ring, he's a tough dude. Inoue was ducking MJ. His initials are MJ, like Michael Jordan. So he might as well wear the 23 because he's a GOAT at featherweight. Like, to this day, I don't understand what the big infatuation about him fighting Akhmadaliev and why people were sweating that dude as if he was a threat to Inoue. Inoue is going to like beat that dude like he stole something. And the same thing was going to happen to Sam Goodman. All right? Same shit. Now, I'm not saying I'm against the fight. Let's get it out of the way. But after he beats MJ, after that beatdown, oh, I want to see it too, Night Turkey. I want to see it too. But after, like you, any one of you go to the gym right now, right? And you're gonna have a harder time hitting the punching bag than Inoue's gonna have hitting Akhmadaliev. All right. So like it is what it is. After he beats Akhmadaliev a night, and he's gonna stop him. Once he finishes styling on Akhmadaliev, right? Oh, look at Akhmadaliev, bro. I mean, he wears those military hats, those berets. He's ready for war. That's supposed to be intimidating to Inoue, apparently. You know what I mean? That's supposed to intimidate him. Maybe that's why he was running. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of you think he's cool, huh? Because he wears like the military beret, whatever the fuck you call him. You know what I mean? Like you got that impresses some of you dudes. You know what I mean? Oh, look at oh yeah, he's military styled out. He's ready for war. Like okay, but okay, cool. So yeah, muy special force. Like he's the special force that's supposed to take out Inoue. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, here comes Akhmadaliev. You know what I mean? Like the Phantom of the Night. You know, the Phantom of the Jungle, Akhmadaliev. You know, like they think he's Rambo. Shit. They think he's Rambo. You know, they're like, ay, güey, se puso el beret, bro. Míralo. Let me pull up an image. MJ. How the fuck you spell his name? Like, you guys look at this dude, and like you think he's like Rambo or something, right? But I'm trying to find I'm trying to find it like after the fight. You know what? I don't want to be like searching in the middle, so but you guys know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like when he's probably gonna show up to the press conference and like, you know, when Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Predator, like he's got like the green all over and he's like camouflaged and he's gonna try to like you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like what? The hat is badass. Okay, cool. But like, how is it gonna help him beat Inoue? That's what I want to know. You know what I mean? When Inoue is not fighting, he looks like some weak ass like anime like doctor or some shit. Like he don't even look like a fighter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. But like in the ring, he's like fucking dudes up. You know, it is what it is. You know, he looks like an anime extra, right? Like when he's just like doing shit. right? Dude's walking out like with a handbag of these uh, big box retail store or some. You know what I mean? Like he's walking out of a like I don't know. I don't even know like what do you call them? Like these fancy spots, you know? And he uses hairspray on his hair and shit. It's crazy. But with that said, I want to see Inoue move up, right? Move up to 126 pounds. I saw an article, you guys can check it out on Boxing Say. Marco Antonio Barrera. And y'all, let me tell you something. I don't really like Barrera, but I agree with him in it. And if I agree with Marco Antonio Barrera, that means he made a great point. He basically said, look, this dude is basically invincible at 122 pounds, which is like blasphemy to even say about boxing. A dude being invincible. Like, what are we talking about here? But he's practically as close as you can get to invincible at 122 pounds, right? And the reality is, he made the point it's time for him to move up because there's going to be more challenges at 126 pounds. And he likes the idea of him versus Rafael Espinosa. Could you just imagine that fight? Now, there's other guys. Angelo Leo from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Shout out. All right. There's some other dudes, right? He already beat Fulton, but maybe if Fulton gets some other bouts, maybe we'll do a rematch. Maybe. If Fulton wants to get styled on again, right? And have his mom call his sister talking about how, like, well, there goes my mortgage or there goes my house. By all means. But like, I don't know if you guys have seen that clip where he's telling Andre Ward, oh, my mom, when I got knocked down, called my sister and said, there goes my house. God damn, bro. This is great. But like, hey, I don't think you want to do that again, but hey. So, like, at the end of the day, which isn't even true, by the way, like, Inoue buy you a mansion and to spare houses for your family with a payday you got. A payday your trainer almost fucked up for you because they're stacking the rent. They're stacking. Me, they're stacking. But anyway, Marco Antonio Barrera called for Rafael Espinosa versus Inoue. And look, the more I think about that fight, God, we got to do that fight. Guys, we got to do that fight. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, the more I think about it, the more, like, think of the poster, bro. Like, Inoue's like 5'5". You know what I mean? Rafael Espinosa's a tall dude. Like, just imagine the face-off. Imagine, yes, 726 pounds real top combat. That's 100%. And I still think Inoue wins. I still think Inoue beats. And look, let me tell you something. Rafael Espinosa's a beast. Inoue will find a way to beat that dude. Inoue beats him. Inoue wins that fight. And it's a fight that I personally want to see. So, you guys tell me, but I think it's time after the MJ fight. I personally would like to see Inoue move up to featherweight and try to conquer a new division. There's a lot of bodies there, a lot of intriguing names, and there's going to be questions. There's going to be people picking Espinosa to win. High volume, doesn't get tired, could punch. There's going to be people picking Espinosa to win. And that's going to make it very, very intriguing. There's the Nick Ball fight. I personally don't think Nick Ball is a big challenge for Inoue. It's my opinion. I think Inoue easily wins that fight, but there's people that are feeling froggy when it comes to Nick Ball. You know what I mean? Like there's some dudes that think like the name is Ball. I said wait, they need balls. They there's some real believers in Nick Ball out there. And I'm not saying I'm not a believer. I'm not saying he's not a good fighter, but I'm not like to the moon about him like some other people. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not like, I'm just not, you know, but you know, he's good though. And it would be a great challenge for Inoue, but I think Inoue easily beats him, right? I think he's too short and stumpy, and yeah, he's got fast feet, but you know, I think Inoue gets the angles on him pretty easily, and I think pieces him apart. Like that's how I feel about it. But we'll see if it happens. And if people don't agree, at least it causes a conversation that we could have. You know what I mean? So I personally want to see Inoue move up. That's me, right? That's just my opinion. Finally, I want to talk about Saul Canelo Alvarez, or the dudes that are Chile are going to get mad. You know what I mean? If I don't like, they're going to be like, yeah, ves. I knew deep down he doesn't like Canelo because he didn't even mention him. You know, but he's the white pit bull. Thought you'd be in love. Like, what do you mean? He's like a poor man's version of Pitbull Cruz. That's what I think. By the way, are his feet like that fast? Like, I know people are like, oh, he's got some fast feet, bro. Like, people act like they do Sugar Ray Leonard or something. Like, the way they talk about Nick Ball, like, oh, no, bro. Because his feet, bro, they're fast. Like, I'm just like, are his feet like that much faster than like your average featherweight? Like, I mean, maybe I'm missing something. That's just me. You know what I mean? That's just me. Hey, yo, Fulton Leo rematch. I'm down. Casey Cook, I'm down all day. All day. Especially if Fulton fights in the way he did the first time, my God, like we got to fight. You know what I mean? I don't know if Vinal's going to be back in the mix, but he got knocked the fuck out. But Leo versus a Vinal rematch, I'm down for that. You know what I mean? If it happens in Albuquerque, I'm there. It's like a 5-hour drive for me. I got to be there. You know what I mean? But I'm down for that. There's a lot of great fights. But I'm also down for Inoue to move up and wreck shop. You know what I mean? But not Ball, bro. Ball's got balls, bro. Ball's fast. Like, bro, the way people talk about Nick Ball, like, I swear to God, like, I'm like, look, he's good, but like I don't see it like that. Like, they talk about Nick Ball, like, I'm just saying. Have you guys seen, like, you know Game of Thrones? Before the Battle of the Bastards, Ramsay Snow versus Ramsay Bolton now is talking to Jon Snow, right? They have that little meetup before the battle. And Jon Snow, like, you know, he's feeling froggy, you know, and he's like, hey, a lot of people don't need to die. Let's do this the old way. Me versus you. The winner takes it, right? And Ramsey's like, oh, like, the way they talk about you, bastard. I mean, the stories I've heard about you, I mean, they talk about you like you're the greatest swordsman that ever lived. I don't know if I could beat you in a fight, but I know my army could beat yours. I'm sure you've seen it. Like, that's how you do to be talking about fucking Nick Ball. Like, if I never seen Nick Ball fight, I swear, if I never seen a dude fight with my eyes, like, I would have this impression that he's like, he's got like the fastest feet of the sport. Every punch he lands is like devastating. He's breaking ribs. Like, he's just like annihilating dudes. Like, right. That's just the sense I would get. And that's just not. They shout out to Anando Yamas with the super chat right there. Much appreciated, brother. Right. So for all the hardworking dudes out there.
I'm a hard-working man.
That's right. For everybody out there with a profession.
You, there. What is your profession?
I'm a potter, sir.
And you, Acadian. What is your profession?
Sculptor, sir.
You?
Blacksmith.
Spartans! What is your profession?
I wait. That's how the Al Chile dudes act, by the way. Like they'll be like, Al Chile, later tonight, vato. Ooh, ooh, like after the fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, Al Chile. You know, they're like, that's we're gonna have a hangout. Like that. That's how they be acting, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Just like that. Like, you know, everybody else, like Nando, like, I pour concrete. Like, I'm like, I'm gonna go to work right now. I'm gonna be at work. Like, A-Rod's like, I'm gonna be chilling. Like, and then like, yeah, Cheetah Crew, like, roo, roo. Like, you know, but that's all I'm gonna say. I see Christine in the chat. Shout out to Christine. No, let me look at the time really quick. Hold on. I got time. Hold on. Give me a second. You have to give me a second, Christine, because I have a bunch of shit pulled up on my screen right now. I'm going to send it to your phone. So give me a second. Hold on, guys. Google Messages. So what do you guys think? Because at 126 pounds, when I talk about Inoue going up, like, people don't bring up Rafael Espinosa, Angelo Leo. Like, I all I hear is about Nick Ball. Like, oh, Nick Ball, he's that dude. Oh man, like that's where Inoue can go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't know about Nick Ball, bro. Inoue's done a lot of great things, but it's a bit much. If he goes up to fight, Nick Ball's just a bit much, bro. That's I don't know about Nick Ball. Like, he's got fast feet. He's powerful. He's strong. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not that. Like I'm not sweating Nick Ball like that. Like, I'm just telling you guys, bro, I'm not sweating to do like that when it comes to Inoue. Give me Inoue, right? I'm not sweating Nick Ball, bro. That's what I'm not saying. He ain't a threat to the other guys in the division, right? You're going to have it in about 3 minutes. Just give me a second. So you guys tell me. Hey, I see the dude out there. Easy. I know it's hard to believe, but there's a dude out there hyping up Nick Ball. I'm just saying. All right? There's some dudes out there hyping the shit. It's what it is. Who's talking about him? Like, who's not talking about him? Right? A florist, does that count? Gotcha. So, shout out to Joe Smith, the real one, absolutely. Joe Smith, that dude, bro. You know what I mean? And you know what? Another thing, you guys, you might have Nick Ball, you might be high, but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Inoue. I'll let this dude say.
Man, that nigga was that Japanese guy was in shape.
Man, that Japanese dude is in shape, right? I don't think Nick Ball was around against Inoue, bro. I just don't. What the hell is Nick Ball going to do? Like, I just don't understand. Why is that like the Brits too far for Inoue? Like that. Oh no, I don't know about that one. No. Get out there 122 Inoue. Like that Nick Ball guy. Like, I don't think that's the dude. I just don't think that's the guy that's going to put a stop to Inoue moving up in weight classes. You know, I don't think that's the like the buck stops here of Inoue conquering weight classes. I'm not sweating Nick Ball. Let's put it that way. All right? I ain't sweating, dude. If you want to sweat him, right? If you want to, if every time you do see Nick ball, you start sweating and like it's cool. I ain't sweating, right? I ain't sweating, do it at all. Not today, not tomorrow, right? Well, I'm just killing time now because Christine was going to come on, but let's see what you guys are putting in the chat. JC Saint's another Euro bum. I'm not going to go that far. Like, I'm not going to say he's a Euro bum, but Nick Ball's a good fighter. Okay, let's just, he's a good fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. He falls in that category. You know what I mean? He's a good fighter. He's solid. He's a hell of a fighter. Like that's Nick Ball. Ask Floyd. That's what Floyd would say. Right? But he's aight. Right? He's aight. By the way, Kambosas. George Kambosas. Okay? George Kambosas will be fighting Hitchens in the Garden Theater, right? For Hitchens junior welterweight title, which he got from Paro, and that is a very interesting fight. But I do think, well, here's the thing. I'm still not sure how to feel about Hitchens. Like, yeah, I mean, he's a ballsy fighter. But are y'all like sold on Hitchens? Like, I got a question for the chat. Are you guys like sold on Christopher Hitchens? Like, are you like, yeah, that's the dude? Because I'm not like really like Richards, by the way, Richardson Hitchens. I say Christopher. My apologies. Richardson Hitchens, but whatever. I know he beat Paro and that was an impressive win, but I'm just, I don't. Even if he beats Kambosas, I still have so many questions about Christopher. Richardson Hitchens, all right? Man, if I was his opponent, I'd be calling him Christopher Hitchens just to piss him off. But Klitschens, I just don't like the way he fights. He's like almost just as bad, and not worse than Haney. Like, you know, like I don't know who Christopher is. It might be his brother or something. But Hitchens, Kambosas. Now, the last time Kambosas fought in the Garden Theater, he struck, lightning struck, and he beat Teofimo Lopez. And by the way, it was a great fight. Bloody affair. Dropped Theo in the first round. He survived the knockdown and almost got stopped later in the fight, but he survived it. Closed it strong. Got a decision in New York against someone who's from New York. But can he do it again? I mean, I don't know. The question is Hitchens going to win? And if he wins, is he going to win in a way that people are going to like to watch him win? You know what I mean? That's what I want to know. Well, how's it going, Christine? Can you hear me? I think you're on mute. Can you guys see Christine? Oh, there you are. I cannot hear you. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think she'll bounce off and we'll be back on. Happens with StreamYard. Isn't StreamYard just fun? Don't we just love StreamYard? You know what I mean? Haney Kambosas 3, it could be that. I agree with that. I don't know. I'm just not I no, well, she unmuted herself, and then I don't know what happened. But I basically agree. That's why I'm picking Hitchens to win. But there's just something about Hitchens. Like I don't know what it is. Like I'm just waiting for like I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he's a real deal. Maybe Hitchens is all they make him out to be. I don't know. It's testing 1 2 3.
Testing 1 2 3. You haven't had me on in so long that it's like I don't recognize you, so you're not going to get any volume.
Or like StreamYard's like, well, who's this? Somebody broke into the system.
Exactly. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
What are your thoughts on the announcement? Kambosas will be fighting Christopher Hitchens. Oh my God, I keep calling him Christopher Richardson Hitchens. All right.
Some hits.
And they're going to be fighting in the Garden Theater.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, is this just going to be another Haney type fight where Kambosas gets outboxed, or is he gonna pull off the big spectacular upset like he did against Teofimo Lopez?
You know, I actually like this matchup because Kambosas did beat Tio, and a lot of people thought it was a fluke. You know, it was a bad night, whatever, for Tio. And then Richardson Hitchens, people really want to see more of him. They want to see if he's really the real deal. So I think with this matchup, we're going to see who's who and what's what. And at the end of the night, we're going to have one of our stars. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I'm really 50-50 right now.
Is he going to be a star if he wins like in like boring ass fashion?
Do we have other stars that some people say are boring?
Not really.
No.
You tell me. You name me the stars that are boring.
I mean, I'm not going to name anybody, but I'm just saying that boring in terms of what, like outboxing and not banging and no knockouts. Like, what exactly are we talking?
We know what boring means.
No, what is boring? What is boring?
So for like have you ever like hosted a fight night and by round 3 or 4 everyone's talking about what they're going to be doing tomorrow at the cookout and people start getting up and then
sure.
They're not enjoying what they're watching like you know what boring means.
Well, I mean, I know what boring means to some people, but honestly, I look at things differently. I do. Come on, I'm a purist. I love technical ability. I know that a lot of people think, you know, that Shakur Stevenson is very boring and they put him on if they want to go to sleep. But I personally like his style and I like what he does. I think he's very, very smart, very technical. I
mean his own like people, and by that I mean the people his hometown were walking out of his fight.
Yeah, we did see that. But like I said, there are people that do think that he's boring. I personally like it. So do I think that this is going to be a boring fight with Hitchenson and Kambosas? I don't know. I think that it could not be. I think it could be exciting. I do. It just depends on who's going to turn up and what they're going to do. I definitely want to see more from both of them. Like they're just I'm kind of on the fence about both of them and I want to see them do something.
Well, I will say this. You don't want to have a style or you don't want to be in a fight where your audience is leaving the arena.
I agree. You don't want to be that guy. Sure.
I just think we can all just like, you know, boxing fans never want to agree on anything, but I think we should all be able to agree on that. Like, I think we should all agree you don't want your audience leaving the fight.
No, absolutely. So what are they going to do? Who's going to turn up? Who's going to turn it up and who's going to show out that night? I think somebody will.
I think Hitchens is going to win. I just think there's too much data on how to beat Kambosas, and Haney provided that. Yeah. And I think Hitchens, not named Christopher, could pull it off. I think he could put a game plan together very similar to how Haney did it and pull it off.
So let's say, you know, for the sake of discussion, that Hitchenson does win. What does Kambosas do? Is he done? Who can he fight? Where can he go?
It depends on what he wants, right? So, for example, if he wants to keep fighting the top echelon fighters and be considered a top fighter in the world, a world class, then we got to be realistic at that point. Like, brother, your batting average hasn't been good at this level. You need to be willing to, go down a peg, become fight regionally or domestically in Australia.
Mhm.
If his ego allows it, he could go back to Australia, fight regionally and stuff like that.
That I agree with. That I agree with. That he could go back
top,
and be
like a top
a
level, I
hero
think he's
here.
done.
Sure.
But I will say this: even if he loses to Hitchens, not named Christopher, if he does, he still has another big fight, believe it or not, in Australia, and his name is Paro. Paro versus Kambosas is a huge fight. It's a bigger fight. If Kambosas wins the belt, it's a bigger fight.
Right.
But even if he loses, it's a big domestic fight over there in Australia.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, we know the Australian fans are just, 10 toes deep for their guys, just like the guys and girls in the UK. They love that. I mean, but yes, he would have to swallow his pride and do that. But why not? Why not?
Yeah. Nando wants to know, does Christine drink cerveza with her pinky out? Like,
Vino,
Vino, man. That's percentage wise, that's more hardcore.
Right.
But yeah. So I want to bring this up before we get to ask you about the fights. The moment of truth has come.
Mm-hmm.
The moment of truth has arrived.
Yeah.
For the 6'7". Huh? You know where I'm going with this, right?
I know where you're going. Yep.
See, Fondora's about to find out what happens when he doesn't have a blind man in front of him.
Ooh.
The same thing that was happening in those first 2 rounds.
Tell me about that Tim Tszyu fight I see.
No, what I'm saying, what was happening in those first 2 rounds is going to continue to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Fondora's going to get destroyed in that rematch. That's what I think. What do you think?
I thought that Tim Tszyu was doing very well, and I thought that the blood definitely was a hindrance in performance, even though he did not show that it was a hindrance. But really, the bigger question to me is why he did not want to fight Xander. Why did they feel like the rematch with Tim Tszyu was better than fighting Xander?
Oh, you're talking about Fondora. Well,
yeah, are we talking about Fondora? And
of course. No, I know. But here's the thing. There's just like I would imagine. Look, I don't have I'm only speaking off of kind of reading the situation. I don't have the paperwork in front of me or none of that. Mm-hmm. But I do believe that there was just more money for the Tim Tszyu fight.
You think so? Really?
I do believe that. I just think there's a lot of money in Australia for Tim Tszyu. Mm-hmm. Then they'll work, and they have a great working relationship with PBC already. Okay. And I just think it's the only way it makes sense to me that there's just more money. And not only that, if you're Fondora, right? And you work with fighters, and fighters have egos, and mm-hmm. fighters hear things, and you don't think Fondora's heard dudes like me say, like, man, if you didn't have a blind dude in front of you, you wouldn't have stand a shot in that fight?
For sure.
You don't think Fondora's tired of hearing people like it could be a situation for Fondora saying, look, people keep saying that if it wasn't for that cut, I wouldn't have won that fight. So I'm going to run it back, and I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm gonna shut D-Style's mouth, and I'm gonna beat Tim Tszyu in the rematch. You don't think that's possible?
No, I think what is possible that his promoter and his managers know that is a very risky fight, and then the doggy train ends, just like that, poof, and they're not ready to get off that train. They believe, that they already beat Tim Tszyu square, however, whether we think he did or not. They're like, you know what, you beat him once, you can beat him again. This is a safer opportunity, and there probably is money there too. And we're not quite ready for Xander yet. That's what I believe.
I look. Who has Xander beaten for people to be sweating him to the world? We gotta duck him.
I think it's about a star coming up. He's coming up, and he is risky, and he's ready to beat a champ. So Fondora would be the one to beat. He would be the champ that he would beat.
Now, let me make this clear. I do think Xander beats Fondora.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to ask me, who do you think wins? Yes, but if Fondora is going to Tim Tszyu route because he thinks he's going to win that fight, he's got another thing coming.
That's what I'm thinking that they think.
But you don't think a little bit though, like it does give him an opportunity to run it back and prove to people it wasn't just a cut, right?
I think there's very few guys these days that really care about proving anything because the money that's been rolling in and the opportunities that they're getting. I think that this is just a different breed of boxers, in my opinion, compared to the old days where they were like, no, I don't care. You can pay me half the purse. I just want to whoop his ass again, or I'm going to prove it that I'm going to whoop his ass. I think we have a different breed of folks, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, and that's okay.
Well, if fair, I don't think anyone is to take half of their pay to prove something to people.
I'm just saying, back in the day, those men wanted to fight and prove, that they were king. That's my point. Today, we're all, the money's there, the money's bigger,
If people knew the stories of Ray Robinson, he was a vicious businessman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Ali was like you have to pay that dude for the show. I'm just what I'm saying is, and it goes back to my original point. I do think this, like, if there was more money for the Zayas fight, I think he would be fighting Zayas.
Okay,
that's what I think.
I don't, but that's okay. I mean, we really don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We don't know what the negotiations were. So you're right. I just think that he's too risky.
Do we want to compare purses? Should we do a side by side of Xander's purses and Tszyu's purses?
No, absolutely not. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm saying that I believe that Samson believes that Xander is more risky than Tim Tszyu. That's just what I believe.
Okay.
So that's why they didn't take it.
And but Samson, I mean,
what?
I don't want to go in on Samson, but shout out to Mr. T, by the way. The sooner Fondora loses, his belt is for the better, man. Well, there you go. Skywalker, man, shout them out in Albuquerque. Blessed fight weekend. Absolutely. Shout out to you, brother.
Great fight weekend.
So, we'll see what happens. I think Fondora's gonna be lit up that night. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like trees chopped down? You don't want to get the act. It's going to be something like that. But
did you say chopped or chopped?
I don't even know. But now here's the thing. That's not my profession. I have no idea. Okay. Yeah. Let's keep it moving. So Xander got the belt, right? He's an email champ.
I mean, that seems to be like the trend these days, doesn't it?
Here's all I want to say. Nope. Look, it's not Xander's fault that he's the mandatory. The guy didn't want to fight him. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So this is not about him. But what happened to the days that when someone got stripped or a belt got vacant, they got the number one guy, the number two guy in the rankings. They had to fight each other, and then the winner became the champion.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, it seems to be a trend these days, and I think it's kind of like a participation ribbon. Who wants a participation ribbon? I want to compete and I want to win. I want to earn my belt. But then, like I said, we're in a new era. I guess that's very old.
And I don't want to be a DICK. I don't. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just don't. I know I am one, but I don't want to be one. Right. But what I'm telling people is, and God bless them. And it's no beef like at all. It's not against the fighters. It's not.
Yeah.
This is about the sanctioning bodies.
Yes.
But I'm seeing all like, new world champion, but then you look at it's an interim belt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's not. You're not actually the champion.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think you're being a DICK. I think that you're speaking facts. Like, I think you're right.
There you go. I'm only spelling it out because there's a lady, or else I would just be saying it. You know what I mean? But
I was gonna say it. I just didn't want to offend you.
you know what I mean? It is what it is. She thinks I'm sensitive, people. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of sensitivity floating around these days.
What's going on right now? She's like, well, I wasn't saying it for you, for your sake. Like, okay. But it is what it is. This weekend, let's kind of go through it. Let's start with Saturday.
Okay.
First of all, the Bakoli Efe Jaba heavyweight fight.
Yeah,
I actually think it's a great fight.
it is.
I got Efe winning the decision.
Really? Okay.
I think people think he's going to come out trying to knock dude, and I think he's in a box.
Macaulay looks really good. He looks in shape. He doesn't look like he did his last fight when he only had like 2 days to prepare.
But I mean, like they announced it, then he got on a plane and got out of the plane. And they put on gloves on him, like he was ready to go.
Got off the plane.
He made Parker look like a prime Mike Tyson. Like, you know, like, whoa, what's going on?
Wow. So I'm going for my guy Bakoli because I want to see him get back. You know, like, okay, this is what you thought I was about. No, I'm going to show you. I'm here. I've had a full camp.
What I have to respect about, and people could say what do they want about Riyadh. I know there's a lot of people out there putting criticisms out there about it, but I will say this: if you do him a solid, he'll do you a solid back. Like, so for they needed a replacement for Parker. He got starched. In the traditional day, the promoter would throw you out back and you're done. Like, you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
But you know, they told him, you know what? No worries. We're going to give you another opportunity. We're going to put you on a Canelo card, right? And we're going to put you in FA. You have an opportunity to redeem yourself. Look how many chances they give Wilder. Wilder got knocked out, and they still want to put him back on. Like, because as long as you show out, even if you lose, he gives you another opportunity.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's so many pros and cons, you know, and yes, there are some pros, and I think that's great. There are definitely some cons too. But yeah, I think it's good that he's getting another opportunity, even though he lost. I mean, especially considering, you know, the situation, you know, I mean, literally getting off the plane and putting on gloves and going. So yeah, I think it's great that they're doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. By the way, I forgot to give this to the super chat people. Shout out to them.
I'm a hard-working man.
What happened to Joe Smith? You know what happened to him? He's in the back of a milk carton. What's going on?
I haven't talked to him lately. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought you were the one that's supposed to like investigate and find out where he's at. Like
yeah, well, you kind of got to be relevant to what's going on for me to do some investigating. You know, if you're just like, you know, right off into the sunset, then I'm not going to follow you.
Oh, there you go. Last we saw him, he lost to Zurdo in a cruiserweight match. So that's what it's. Shout out to Bruce Goss, by the way. Shout out to El Chido, says this style is a man of respect. See what I mean? He knows. Xander will be no email champ, says HLD. No, not Xander. You know what I mean? Well, so let's move on to Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, what am I doing? Canelo, hello.
What are you doing?
Like what? Like so what was that? Munguia versus
back in time. You jumped forward.
Yeah,
now you're going back.
Yeah, no, I wanted to start with Saturday because I don't think it's that great of a card, but it's whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but I do like the Bakoli Efe Jaba fight.
Yeah, same.
And I actually don't mind this rematch, but Munguia versus Bruno. I think Munguia's gonna knock him out, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I do too, and he really needs to because he hasn't been looking so hot. You know, there was a time when, you know, everyone thought he was going to be the new face, and he hasn't been doing very well. So
like people called Christine.
What'd you say?
Like people with the name Christine.
Yeah.
I mean, you were high on Munguia.
Yes, I was. I really was. I was very high on Munguia, and
So was I.
You know, it was almost heartbreaking.
Do you think I know? I don't like it when people call wins flukes.
Right.
But
like I did earlier, yeah. I mean, I didn't. I said other people said that. So.
But I think Bruno's win over Munguia was a fluke. Like
I think that it's quite possible.
he was getting his ass beat. Then he landed this wild shot, and then Munguia's out. I'm just like,
I mean, look. I mean, I don't know if that would be a fluke. It's boxing. Anything can
yeah,
happen. I mean, a lot of people don't think some of the, the card for Friday, some people don't have a chance. Well, it is boxing. Takes one shot on the right area and lights out.
She's saying WC president wants to put Xander in there with the next highest ranked opponent to fight for the vacant. I think that's the way to go. And if I'm Xander, I want that path because then nobody can criticize me for being email champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that does something to his pride. He does not want to be an email champion. He wants to fight.
Yeah, for sure. So you think Munguia can knock him out?
Yes, I do.
Now, the way I think it's going to go, I think Munguia's going to fight a little more responsible this time.
He has.
I think we're going to see his jab this time.
Yeah.
And I do think he's going to take longer than he should because he's going to be very careful and not want to get caught again.
That's what I was going to say. He has to be very patient. He's going to be patient, and then he's going to catch him at the right time.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
He does fight like he's on a rush to leave or something. You know what I mean?
Like he's got to make another appointment. He has plans.
Like what to do? Well, what's your rush? Hold on, you got like 5 more rounds. You know what I mean? But
Nando said Munguia is always open to the overhand right. It's very true.
Yeah.
So that I have always really been concerned about his defense. His hands are very low, and that really concerns me. And they have not really improved. So that is very concerning.
But at the very least, he could start with a guard, keep it tight, use a jab,
and keep it tight.
But the problem is once he starts throwing punches, he brings his hands back down.
Exactly.
Right? So, and he may start
from his chest. He punches from his chest. He does not punch from here. He punches from his chest.
So he's got the guard, drops it, and then starts throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but look, I will say this though. I know he lost, but I thought he had a good performance against Canelo, right?
Okay, did he have a better performance than Berlanga?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually gave him rounds.
Okay. Yeah.
Berlanga threw a party for himself. He won maybe 1 round.
I know that was not called for. That was
look. Munguia didn't throw a party for himself.
He had a
but I gave him 4 rounds. Like that's a good amount of rounds to win.
And he was in the pocket for a minute. He showed that he could take Canelo's power. He didn't get knocked out.
That's right. So, but Bruno knocked him out. I don't even know how. Have you seen Bruno knock? He's not a puncher.
No, he's not a puncher. That's why it was so shocking because he's not a puncher. And then again goes into question Munguia's chin. Has he been hit so many times that now he has a weak chin? Which, I hope not.
Yeah, and before people would say, "Oh, it's okay because he's got a chin." Well, he already got knocked out, so
does he have a chin?
Yeah.
And, the thing is like over time when you have terrible defense, it is going to weaken your chin. You may have had a strong chin in the beginning of your career, but by this time, it's a possibility that you don't anymore.
Well, once there's a crack, it's kind of like a windshield. Once there's a little crack,
yeah,
and it starts to,
absolutely. So I agree with you.
So I don't know if he reached that point. I don't know. I don't know if he reached.
We're gonna see, right?
I don't know if he already broke the threshold of how many shots he could take in a lifetime, and it's about he's gonna go the Roy Jones route where people are just blowing on Roy Jones and you go out. So that is what it is. So people kind of Joe Joyce effect. That's another guy that. Whenever someone gets praised because they got such a great chin, when that's the first thing they bring up, red flag.
That is a red flag. That is a red flag.
It's like, is that the first thing you could think of? Like, that's the first thing you brought up to me, that he's got a great chin?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Exactly.
Canelo versus Skull. I know your team, Skull. You know what I mean? I know you think Skull's going to pull this off.
This is the matchup that I'm picking Canelo. Okay? Believe it.
I will say this, Skull, for what it's worth, he is bigger than Canelo. He is undefeated, and he is a champion. That's the showbiz adult said.
He was legitimately the mandatory. Yes, he was. He was legitimately the mandatory. He has been knocking people out. He has the same bad habits as Munguia, shooting from his chest, hands very low, and he's going to get knocked out.
You think because Canelo's been going a while without a stoppage?
Well, he's about to prove that he's going to get one.
But I do agree with you. I think this, although I picked Canelo by stoppage for the last 6 fights and it hasn't happened, but
Yeah, well, you should have asked me. I would have told you that.
I thought he was going to knock out Berlanga,
Yeah.
but I think he carried him, but whatever.
Yeah, Berlanga's huge. He didn't carry anybody. Come on.
He
I
carried him.
a tiger. You know what I'm
He
saying?
looked like I was watching that fight. I'm like, what is this dude? He's like the fireman at the top of the ladder, like carrying someone down. That's how it looked.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You get in a cage with
Carried
a
him.
tiger and you're going to carry him? No, come on.
Well,
You could possibly get knocked out or severely hurt. That just takes away from all the other opponents he's ever fought that he was carrying. Come on.
carried him. Like a fireman. They call him the fireman.
Yeah, okay.
He carried Berlanga.
Yeah. Okay.
He carried him all over town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Just being very careful. Berlanga's a big guy.
well, I know he's a big guy, but slow. Not really. I know he kept bragging about his ring IQ, but he doesn't really have the best ring IQ. So there you go.
Yeah, HOD.
So we agree. Canelo's
Canelo's
gonna stop skull emoji, right?
Absolutely.
If you guys don't mind, you can put the skull emoji in the chat. So for William Skull.
Yeah, if you think Skull's gonna win,
Because he's gonna be dead. That's it goes with it. So the card I really like is tonight's card. So I really like these fights, and they're like tough showcase fights.
Yes.
And I'm gonna start with what I believe is the easiest fight to predict. You might disagree, but that's Haney versus Ramirez.
You think that one's easiest?
I think that's the easiest one to predict of the three.
Wow. Okay.
I just think Ramirez is too slow. I think the Achilles heel of Haney is speed.
Absolutely.
Garcia didn't do anything special. It was a really fast hook. And I don't think Ramirez has the ability to even mimic something like that. That's not something you could learn. That's just something that's just God gifted to you, right? To just have that unbelievable speed. Another guy that hurt Haney was Linares, another guy who's very athletic and has fast hands. I could see someone with fast hands hurting Haney and catching him because Haney can't react fast enough to it. But I think he's going to see everything Ramirez does coming. Can Ramirez cause him some problems if he puts some punches and bunches? Yes, but he's going to have to walk through fire. Like I think he's going to be getting hit a lot. I think Haney's uppercut's going to be landing a lot in this fight with Ramirez. He's trained by Robert Garcia. He likes to bob and weave, which is good, but I just think it's too slow, and I think Haney's going to time it. And he fights in a pattern, and I think Haney's going to catch on to it, and I think easily route him to a decision.
Okay, so you think it's going to be a decision. You know, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think that Haney is definitely faster, and Ramirez is slower, and sometimes he's very calculated. Not calculated. He choreographs his punches, and you can see, okay, here's a punch coming. But the difference, the thing that Ryan and Ramirez have in common is they're both very heavy-handed. Mm-hmm. They're both very heavy-handed. So it just takes one punch. I'm kind of concerned about, I'm not saying he's not going to win, but I am a little concerned about Haney's mental state. I mean, let's think about it. Mm-hmm. You know, at the press conference, booze. You know, his dad's about to fight, Oscar. He's getting a lot. Hopefully he's off social media because he's getting a lot of hate. And I kind of feel sorry for him because I really blame his dad. His dad was great at promoting him, but then his dad is also great at now making everyone hate him. So I don't know. I don't think that that's the easiest fight, but I think that it's the second. But it's going to be a good one. I want to see how these two styles collide.
Okay. All right. So now my thing with Ramirez, though, he just hasn't looked the same in years. Like
I agree.
This isn't the same Ramirez that beat Hooker.
After
mean?
the Josh Taylor fight, he has not been the same. Josh Taylor really put a whooping on him.
Yeah. Like, I think if we see the Ramirez that fought Hooker years ago,
Yeah.
okay, maybe he could give Haney some problems, but
Yeah.
I just think he's too slow. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I do agree with that.
but we'll see. You know what I mean?
We'll see. It can happen. One shot, right? Look what happened to
Yeah,
Monique.
yeah.
Just saying.
So the other easy fight of the three.
There's no easy fights, by the way. I'm not
Like,
with
like,
style saying that any of these fights are easy.
no, I'm saying of the three, the easiest.
The more clear, the more.
I say, they're all, if you want to say, but I'm going to say this: Ryan Garcia versus Raleigh Romero.
Romero.
Because I got to roll my. The ladies like when I roll my R's. You know,
Oh,
so
is that right? Okay. All right.
But Raleigh Romero is going to get knocked out. You tell me. I want you to explain. How is he going to avoid that left hook?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. The thing is that I hate to see Rolly removed from the scene because he's so funny and he's entertaining and we need him in boxing. But
it's gonna be funny watching him get knocked the fuck out.
But I do agree that he is. Ooh, man, he's and Ryan looked bigger than him. I didn't think that was going to happen, but Ryan did look bigger than him, and that is coming. The only thing that I'm thinking is, okay, so Ryan was supposed to go train in the Canelo camp, right? Well, they couldn't train him because of Canelo's fight, so then he has to go back to Derek James. Yeah. I'm wondering, is that going to be?
You love Derek James.
What'd you say? You
love Derek James.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a strong partner, and I think that they're going to do things together. My point is that the switch ups are the switch ups going to mess him up?
But he always does whatever the fuck he wants to do anyway.
I mean, he does.
He just goes out there, aims, gives his back, aims.
He does give his back a lot, and that is very dangerous. I mean, Rolly could actually do a behind the head shot, which is so dangerous, and I hate those rabid punches, but it could happen, and then that's really that'll take somebody out for sure.
I honestly think he's gonna knock him out early.
You do, like 2 or 3?
It's over.
Yeah.
I don't. And then Raleigh, people forget Raleigh's been he took a beating in the Cruz fight.
Oh, facts, facts. Seriously, and I honestly don't think it's going to go past 4. I'm not sure when, but I don't think it'll go past 4.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like when a mom gets really mad, she takes the chancla and just smacks her kids.
Yeah.
Like that type of speed, like Raleigh and Reddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He doesn't have the best defense.
I think Ryan has the fastest left hook in the sport.
Yeah, it is fast. Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't think Raleigh has any answers for it.
Yeah, the thing is though, is like Haney and Ryan are like already looking at each other like, 2 high school sweethearts, and they're dismissing their opponents. That's something else that is not good. Even the whole promotional video and everything was them two.
Did he say they're looking at each other like high school sweethearts?
Yeah, I mean they can't get enough of the back and forth and the eye contact and talking about each other, and it's like, you're fighting, you're not fighting each other this time. Like, you need to focus at the task at hand.
Are they blowing kisses at each other like from the other side of the table?
I don't know, but I'm just saying.
By the way, could somebody just sit Bill Haney down? Like what's
for the love of God? For the love of God.
Like first with V-Hop and what you're gonna fight De La Hoya? Like,
I know, come on.
Is Bill a fighter? Like, well, he acts like he's like this dude, like he's that dude. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I think that this is gonna sound horrible, but there's just some people that know it's not even gonna get to that. It's not gonna get to that, and then we know that they are known for lawsuits. So what would happen if somebody hits him?
Well, I will say this.
I don't promote that at all.
For a while, I was a little worried B-Hop was gonna like strike him or something. So
yeah,
it is what it is. But so this is to me the tough one. Barboza
same
versus Tio.
Same.
And people will be like, "Oh, Tio," like for whatever reason, Christine, when Tio's the favorite, he's laid an egg. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
He at the times he looked spectacular against Tater and against Lomachenko. He was a massive underdog. He was being counted out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he needs that, if he needs the world to feel like it's me against the world. I'm going to prove,
Yeah.
you know him as that dude. Like, we told everybody, like,
Right.
But like, okay, now you're the favorite, not by much, just a slight favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But you have this tough guy in front of you, and I will say this is not the fight to have a bad performance against.
No, not at all. Not at all. I agree with you. And it just seems like that Tio rises to the level of competition. Like the better the competition, the better he looks and the better he performs. But as soon as the bar is lowered, sorry, Kambosas, he doesn't do as well. So I'm sorry, not Barbosas, freaking Australia. Kambosas, Barbosa. Kambosas. So then,
Gotcha.
he didn't do as well because, but I'm picking Barbosa in this fight.
Wow.
If Tio wins, I'm not mad at it, because he really needs this. But so does Barbosa, and Barbosa is doing great. He's on a winning streak. Barbosa is technical. He's also a banger. I don't know where Tio's head is, even though it seems like he's in a good place. He's still doing some little crazy things. So I don't know. Barbosa seems very calm, cool, and collective and confident.
I mean, that all those are great qualities to have.
Mm-hmm. But
he's not a better fighter.
You don't necessarily have to be a better fighter to beat somebody.
I agree with that.
But who's showing up tonight? Who's showing up? How is their state of mind? How is their conditioning? How's the corner instructing them? There's so many variables. And honestly, to me, this is the 50-50 fight of the night.
I think this is the risky one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And while I wouldn't be surprised if Barbosa pulls it off,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tio lays an egg. But I do think Tio's going to put it together tonight. Call it a good feeling. I think he's going to put it together.
I hope he does. I'm not, against him. I hope he does. I just, I think this is like where we're going to see the either new, Teofimo, and it's going to be that way, for the next whatever years, or he's going to be the same Teofimo that was asking if he still has it.
Well, that's why we're going to tune in, and that's why we got to watch to see what happens. That's why boxing is a theater of the unexpected.
Ooh, absolutely, and I love it.
And if we all knew what was going to happen, we would be right about everything in our lifetime in boxing.
I usually am.
But I mean, kind of. But that's it, Christine. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, just it's good to be back. I'm glad you finally invited me. It's been a while, but I'm not mad at you. And of course, the chat, love them. They're always so great. If you're not subscribed to me, In the Ring with Christine, please do. I've got my things going on over there too, but it's always good to collab with my brother.
Yeah, In the Ring with Christine here on YouTube, and follow her on
all platforms:
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
Facebook,
Facebook. Like she's on. Everywhere. She's probably still on MySpace. Like, nobody's on MySpace. She's probably there too.
The thing is I only have I can't do my top 10 favorite, like my top 10 friends, because there's only like 2 on there. It's crazy.
That's crazy, but that is what it is. And make sure you guys share this on all social media platforms. This is the style of boxing. Keep it a boxing. And I'm gonna play this intro just so Christine can see it. And we're out. Peace.
You're now listening to Hispanics Causing Panic, baby. Let's do this.
But right now, Hispanics are causing black. But right now, Hispanics are causing black. Yeah, Hispanics are causing panic.